you're talking about another aspect which is very, very important, how equal or how it is serving the people, then you find what has happened to employment opportunities over the period of time. The period of high growth, unfortunately, were combined with the period of increasing unemployment, especially the youth unemployment. There was a period when actually the entire last 2-3 years you must be hearing that the problem of unemployment has suddenly come up to the central stage of discussion. And that is because the periods of high growth should have contributed to employment, but it was the growth without employment. And that's something which says that it was not very equitable in the nature. Another way you look at that, the aspects that why basically cannot be termed as equitable opportunity. The economy was not able to contribute equitably. It didn't serve the people the way it could have done. The reason I'm talking more about the what is not done, because there we can improve. Then if you look at another database, how many percentage of the population is working as unpaid family members and self-employed, basically own account producer we call it. And that's basically at the national level, the figure is 25%. 25% of the population either works as what you call the own account producers or basically what you call unpaid family members. And that's very, very high percentage. And these group of people may not be earning very well. This is the group of people which are not very productive. And they belong to informal sector activities. They are not covered by any social security, social safety nets. This is basically a very important aspect. Whether it is people-centric, then this particular population is not covered by social safety nets. And this is another aspect, those who are working as daily wage laborers. 14% of the population who is working as daily wage laborers are earning less than what we call national poverty line. It's a very contradictory. 12% of the population lives below poverty line, but the population, the 14% of the people who are working as basically basically hired by others, daily wage laborers, daily wage employed, they are earning less than, 14% of them are earning less than what we call national poverty line. This is big because you can finance your expenditure through transfer payment, basically from family to family members to another. But are they earning enough? That communicates that jobs that they are doing are not productive enough. These are the areas that needs to be actually looked into as far as when we are saying whether it's equal and whether it is really serving the people. Another aspect when you look at that, very important aspect when you look from the perspective of the economy, whether it is serving the people. One aspect that is that ability of the economy to relate the population, especially the vulnerable section, to the capital and to the market. And I'll give you an example. What's basically the situation is. If you say agriculture sector, 60% of population, I've already said that works in the agriculture sector. And they just receive, if you look at all the lending that is made by all financial institutions in Bhutan, including BDFC, all commercial banks, taken together, only 4% of the total lending goes to the agriculture sector. Only 20% of the agricultural household are covered by institutional financial lending. And that's area, it means that they are not covered by financial services. There's a need for providing them capital, access to capital. Unless they have access to capital, the opportunities cannot be equitable. And that's basically a very vital thing. Efforts are already there. Microfinance, Bhutan government has already made inclusive finance initiative for inclusive finance. That is to show that the government is serving the people. They realize there are gaps, and those gaps are filled much more earlier than it is done in other countries. In other countries, generally government do not bother about such things. But in Bhutan, being a small population, I think the government being more responsive to the needs of the population, they generally respond more quickly than other countries do. Another issue, when you say whether the government is serving, the economy, not the government, economy is serving the people. For economy to serve the population, it has to be, the instruments, the institution have to be accountable and responsible. They are responsive, as I said, but to what extent they are accountable to their programs. I'll take you an example of what happened in last 2 years, the so-called balance of payment crisis. And what we found, who was responsible, then you found that different organizations were shifting blame to each other. The government to RMA, RMA to the government, but nobody was taking the responsibility where things have gone wrong. Which was responsible? That shows the economy was not accountable. the institutions were not completely accountable. So there is a need that we need to make them accountable. We need to make them more responsible. And once they become more accountable, more responsible, then economy itself becomes much more equitable in the nature.